Hello, how are we all doing today? I'm doing wonderfully, thanks for asking. I wanted to kind of talk about the life lessons that I learned when I was at Disney. The only part that I showed when I was there was when I was happy. And I think that's kind of what everybody does, because why do we want to be downers? Why do we want to show people our sad side or our bad side or something that might get us judged? I didn't want to put something on people that they weren't affected by, that they weren't a part of. And I think that was the main reason why I kind of kept it on the DL, how I was feeling. And this program and just being away from home, being away from your friends, like learning new things is honestly just not all that it's cracked up to be. I was just so happy to be there, and it was so much fun. It was just amazing. There were quite a few times where I completely shut down, or I just did not feel as though life itself was in my court. The ball was not in my court. And this was where I really just kind of shut down. And that was the darkest part of my program, was when that happened. So let me give you a little recap on my mental history. I would never consider myself depressed. I would say that I have been in depressing states of mind. And it's a pretty common reason behind it, and it's just to give you a little lowdown. I've been through a lot in the past few years with friendships. I have not been able to really keep a steady friendship with anybody except for maybe a couple people. They come and they go. That's the way of life, but the way that some of my friendships have ended has just been so devastating that it really has affected me mentally and emotionally and physically too. This plays into how I was affected in this program. When I first got there, I was scared to death that I was not going to be able to make any friends. I knew that obviously I would be working with other people, I would be living with other people, but I just always had that thought in my mind that like I wasn't going to make friends while I was there. And 100% not true. I made so many friends. I had such a great time. The first half of my program, best 4 months of my life. I have to say, it was just awesome. No complaints at all. My friends were there always for me. They were so much fun to be around. We were always hanging out. I was always busy with work and with them and with activities and going and doing stuff. And I truly felt cared for by people. And it didn't really go downhill until I got transferred to Magic Kingdom. Now, this was where those negative thoughts started coming back into my mind. I got transferred to a new job, and I also got moved from my old apartment into a new apartment. So I'm literally starting over. Like, I knew nobody. And that part always scares me, but I'm always optimistic about it. Like, I'm fine, it'll be cool, whatever. Wasn't like that. However, didn't really get along with any of my roommates. They were not my type of style of person. But I also started to find myself at my apartment more often than I had when I was working at the lodge. When I was working at the lodge, I would go home, take a nap, and go out. Go home, take a nap, go out. Like every single day, like it felt like I was doing something. And once I moved to the new location, I didn't know anybody at the location enough yet to really say like, oh, hey, let's go hang out. So it's that whole like transitioning, getting to know people again was just really, it's not my style. I don't like it. I don't like change in that aspect. So it was just really hard for me, and yes, I had Danny who was there for me. I would hang out with him all the time. Like, he was pretty much the only person that I would see from our original friend group. Obviously, we were dating, so that is why. And I loved being with him, and it was just somebody that I had to kind of console in when I started feeling depressed again. I remember one night I was alone in my apartment, and I had all the lights turned off, and I just cried for hours. I just cried because my mind was telling me that you have nobody. Nobody cares about you, and this is why they're not reaching out to you, because they don't care. They don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to love you. They never loved you. You were never somebody's first choice. And I think that is the mindset that I had been in for so long, that before that it finally came back, and it was one of those, like, it literally hits you like a tidal wave. Like, your emotions that you've been bottling up for so long just give out, and I just broke down. And I think the problem was I didn't have anybody to tell about it. And even though I know I didn't want to burden them with the way I was feeling. And I think that's the worst part, is that feeling of, like, I do have somebody that cares about me, but I don't want to burden them with the way that I'm feeling. I'm going to read you guys one of the passages that I wrote in my journal. I don't write in it very often. It's normally when I just have overwhelming feelings is when I write in it. But this is from Wednesday, June 7th. Today I hit my breaking point. Today I finally cracked. My emotions got to me big time. After all these months, I finally come to the realization that I am pushing myself deeper into unhappiness. The first part of my DCP, Disney College Program, was amazing for the most part, but now I'm completely lost and unsure of how much I really want to put forth to still be here. The few things that I've been keeping from people is my constant thoughts of not being important to people or not being thought of when I'm not around. This all stings from my past, from how little friends I had and how self-conscious I was. It never goes away, that insecurity that I feel about myself and the people around me. I can easily put on a brave face to trick people, but it has gotten way too tiring. I care so much and so deeply about people, and I always feel like I never get that reciprocated. So I brush it off like it's nothing, like I don't care that people like someone more over me, that I'm never anyone's first choice, that it gets to the point where I truly cannot take it anymore. I want to feel loved, I want to feel important, and until I tell myself that I am those things and believe it, I will continue to be unhappy. Sometimes I really hate being alone. It gives me too much time to think, and that is really messing with me right now. On the other hand, surrounding myself with people also makes me lonely, because I am never anyone's first choice. Last choice is always, never important enough to be loved first. It's not selfish to want to be someone's first choice. I would just like to be anyone's first choice. Rereading this, wow. The fact that I wrote that down on paper, and that I can go back and read exactly how I was feeling at that moment, I can actually feel it. And I think the hardest part about reading that is that I almost try to convince myself that that's not me, that I wasn't the one that wrote that. And that's the worst part, is I don't want to be feeling this way. Nobody wants to be feeling this way. And some reason we continue to feel it. And There are certain people that I had told that, or a certain person that I had told about how I was feeling, and I think the response to it was just all wrong. When you console in somebody, you expect them, or you pretty much expect them to tell you what you've been telling yourself. Like, you need to get out of there more, you need to be doing things, like, for yourself, like, blah, 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 all that cliche shit that we're used to, that we want to be told, but we don't want to be told, because we know it. We know that we need to get out there. We know that we need to do certain things. But sometimes we just need somebody to say, yeah, sometimes life sucks. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys, like, firsthand, like, how I had been feeling when I was there. So being there wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. There were times where I honestly just felt like I needed to go home and just needed to not be there. And obviously things did get better once I started making friends at Tony's, which is amazing. I am so thankful for all of the friends that I did make and the love that they gave to me. But there was that time where I just felt empty and alone and not wanted. And that's something that a lot of people feel. That's something that we have to understand as humans to be empathetic about, and understand that not everybody's going to be happy all the time. Emotions are a thing. They are a great thing, and they teach us stuff, and they make us understand life and the person that we are. And I find just coming back from this experience is that I have learned about myself immensely. As a friend, as a romantic partner, as a worker for a major corporation. So I think the main thing I learned in this experience was that I need to stop letting my past affect me and how I think about things. Because I think every time that I have an episode like that, I'm bringing up like, oh, my past was like this, and this is the reason I'm like this today, and that negativity just amps everything up. And like learning that you can't blame your past on what is happening now. You have to move on. You learned lessons from your past, but you cannot hold on to them. And that's the one thing that I try to keep in mind as I move forward, is like, I'm a new person. You don't know me, I don't know you. Your past is your past. And while yes, it may have hurt you, well, yes, it may have just done some things mentally and emotionally to you that you did not like, or that you carry now, you learned from it, and you understand yourself better as a person now. And I think that is the one thing that is so good to come out of these kinds of experiences. And I'm very thankful for that as I continue to work on that in these days forth. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. Sorry if this is a little depressing. I just thought I would be open with you guys on like a couple things that I did go through during this process. Know you guys aren't alone. You always have somebody to talk to. So if you need somebody to talk to, let me know. I'm always here for you. Text me, call me, email me, anything. Just, I'm here. Somebody's always there. So, yeah, hopefully next video will be a little bit more exciting. But yeah, have a great day, guys. Love you all. Bye.